Manchester City opted against signing a replacement for Julian Alvarez this summer, even with support for Erling Haaland Limited. Erling cannot play every game, declared Pep Guardiola last week. But despite losing Julian Alvarez this summer, Manchester City didn't sign another striker. But Phil Foden can play there, close to the box, the manager explained. James McAtee can play there, because he's really good in these spaces, and even Gundo can play there. He also name-checked Oscar Bob as an attacking midfield option. City's Haaland plan will be tested later this month when they face Arsenal and Watford in the space of 3 days. Haaland will surely not be risked in the Carabao Cup so soon after a huge Premier League game. Foden and Gundogan will also be preferred for the Arsenal game, fitness depending, so maybe McAtee will get the chance to impress against Watford while Bob remains injured. In January, when City could play a maximum of 16 games in the first 2 months, they will need to manage Haaland's minutes much more. And that is where a wildcard option could come in. I have no idea about that. I didn't talk with Tsiki about Claudio Echeverri, Guardiola said towards the end of the summer window. City's January 2024 signing from River Plate for £12.5 million has remained in Argentina for a year, with his loan set to expire at the end of December. In theory, he could be a City player in January. When Julian Alvarez signed in a similar deal, his form back on loan at River Plate convinced City to abandon plans for another loan and fast-track his integration into Guardiola's squad. 2 years, 54 goals or assists, 7 trophies and an initial £50 million profit suggest that was the right decision. Echeverri is not Alvarez, of course. He is an attacking midfielder rather than a striker, but he is scoring impressive goals for River's first team and was part of Argentina's squad for the Olympics this summer. Coach Javier Mascherano was criticized for only playing Echeverri for 17 minutes across 3 games before a quarter-final exit. Former City defender Martin Demichelis, River manager until recently, says going to City is ideal for Claudio. There is no better team for him to continue his path to further development. Claudio is truly one of the great emerging talents in River's football. We have a great squad that always produces technically gifted players. However, the day-to-day whirlwind at River demands not only winning but being a protagonist in a very special way, trying to play well. A recent goal against Huracan saw him nutmeg a defender on the edge of the area, and when he was denied by a sliding tackle 12 yards out, he spun and curled the loose ball into the bottom corner brilliantly. Another strike earlier in the year saw him smash in a 35-yard drive into the bottom corner. Get a forward who can do everything. The 18-year-old has 4 goals and 3 assists for River this season since April from 28 appearances, of which 21 have been starts. It's not as brutal a record as Alvarez had, but it's equally impressive for a player who is still a teenager. Reports suggest City wanted to loan Echeverri out in January to City Football Group's sister club Girona. But that is now blocked after UEFA imposed restrictions on the 2 sides as they are both in the Champions League this season. Another loan move can't be ruled out and could be a sensible option to acclimatize him to European football. River certainly aren't expecting another loan and are planning for life without El Diablito. But could Echeverri be a budget option to add another forward to a squad that will be in the midst of their busiest period? City will know how well their Haaland plan is going by January, and they will also know whether Echeverri has what it takes, having watched him closely for over a year. The Blues rarely do business in the winter window. Tsiki Begiristain says the current balance of the squad is perfect. But Echeverri has already signed and could solve multiple problems in one shrewd decision.